All right, so this is kind of like a part two to the last lesson. In the last lesson, we looked at side, 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 and side angle, side, kind of side forward ways of proving triangle congruence. We're going to look at the other two. In this one, they are angle, side angle, and angle, angle, side. So just like the last time, it's important to note that the order matters, right? Okay, so angle side for angle side angle, it has to be an angle and then a side in between them and then another angle. Okay, so it can't be an angle and then an angle and then a side, because that's this one, right? That's a totally different thing, right? Easy peasy. So this one's actually a little bit less scary because this one, they're both work. This one isn't, like we learned that there isn't a SSA or AAS, right? That's not a thing, but there is an angle side angle and an angle angle side. So it's this way works, and also if we have angle angle and then a side on the outside, that also works. Okay, so those are similar, right? These are similar things. So it's angle side angle if the side is in between the two angles, and it's angle angle side if the side is outside, right? So let's do just like we did last time. Let's do a couple proofs. They shouldn't take all that long at all. So we've got these two triangles here, and we are given that QS bisects PQR. So this angle right here, this is going to bisect, which is going to tell us something important. We need to keep that in mind in just a minute, right? And we're also given that angle PSQ, so that's this guy right there, is congruent. Now this one we are going to go ahead and label, because this one we don't need one extra step to sort of say something with it like this one. So angle PSQ, so PSQ, so that one is congruent to RSQ, right? So these two angles are congruent, right? So, and we're supposed to prove that these two triangles are congruent. So we now know all four ways to prove that the two triangles are congruent. So we could do, oops, I don't want to do that. Cancel, go away. Hitting buttons. So we could go a whole lot of different directions. Now, we won't be able to use all four of them right away because we won't have enough information to do that. So let's see if we can kind of take a look at this. So we haven't really used all of our given yet. That's a good place to start, right? So this one is already there. It's sitting there. We got this angle, right? So angle, angle, side, angle, side, angle, whatever else. You may already see the path we're going to go, but let's use the rest of the given and see if we can get there. So what is the fact that this segment bisects this angle tells? Well, it tells us that this angle is congruent to that angle because of definition of a bisector. So on step 2, we can say that angle PQS, is congruent to angle RQS. Angle RQS. So that's these two. All right, so can we see the path forward? We've also got another kind of tool in our proving things tool belt. We have something that's shared between the two of them. If we have something shared between the two things, what should that send up in our brains? That should send reflexive property, right? And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to say that QS is congruent to QS. So this guy right here is congruent to itself. So, I didn't write our justification. This right here is definition of bisector, right? So this third step right here is that segment QS is congruent to segment QS because of the reflexive property. Reflexive. That's terrible. Let's try again. Reflexive That doesn't feel like it's spelled right. I don't know. Reflexive property. Okay. Now look what we have. We have angle, side, angle. We just learned that that's a way to prove triangles congruent. So we can say last and final step of this proof, step number 4. Wow. We can say that triangle PQS is congruent to triangle RQS because of angle, side, angle. Wow. Easy peasy. Let's do another proof. We're 5 minutes in. We've already done some notes and a proof. This unit's fun. I like this unit. It's easy peasy. All right, let's do this one. So we got a couple triangles. Now there's some weird stuff going on in this one. The picture, you kind of got to untangle this picture in your mind. So we are given, I'm gonna start at the end this time, and so we can kind of get an idea of what we're trying to prove. We are trying to prove that, let me do this. We're trying to prove that triangle ACD so this triangle, is congruent to triangle ECB. Oops, I went too far. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why my tools are misbehaving. ECB. So that one. So we're trying to prove that this triangle right here, this green one, is congruent to this purple one. That didn't kind of go as smoothly as I had hoped, but that was going to be cool, but it turned out embarrassing. Oh well. I'm just going to kind of like undo back. So we're looking at these triangles. So this one and this one, right? This one and this one are what we're looking at, right? That's what we're trying to go. Kind of the two large ones on here. So what are we given? Well, we are given, let's go ahead and label some of our given. Get back to my regular brush and make it back to being smaller. There we go. So we're given that angle DAC, so DAC, so that's this one right here, is congruent to angle BEC. So that's this one right there. We're given that these two angles are congruent, okay? So we're also told that segment DC, so this one right here, is congruent to segment BC. So that one right there. So this one is congruent to that one, right? Easy peasy. So we got an angle, and we've got a side, and we've got other angles and other things. Angle. Oh, yeah, okay. So it's really like a two-step proof. I was looking at it thinking, we've got angle, side, angle again. We don't, though. It's going to be angle, side, angle, side is where we're going to head. Let's take a look here. So we've got something shared again. So we've already used all the given. The given is pretty much just label it. It's there, right? So, and it's worth noting that I'm going to go ahead and label this a little bit differently. I'm going to show, so DC is this one. So this guy right here is congruent to this guy right there. So it's those. It's not this whole length, and that's kind of worth noting. So again, the trickiest bit to this particular proof is kind of untangling the shape and what's even going on, right? And so we do have something shared between these two triangles. So let's use that reflexive property again. What do we have shared? Well, it's not a side this time. They don't have a full side shared, right? Because this side here is this full length, but we only know this little length right there, right? So we don't actually have any sides that are in common, but we do have an angle that they share. This angle right here. So we can start, after we do the given, we can start this proof with the fact that angle C is congruent to angle C. And that's a reflexive property, right? I'm just going to abbreviate this time. Ref prop. Sounds good to me. reflexive property. Okay, so now, actually, believe it or not, we have a way to get there. Now, we already have it. So I'm going to kind of pull these two guys out a little bit. Sometimes this can be useful when you have overlapping stuff. So we have, I'm not going to draw them perfect. So we have this one. This is E, B, C, and then we have this one, which is like, psh, 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 psh. And this is A, and C, and D, right? Okay, so what we know about these two guys is we know that this guy is congruent to that guy, right? That's those little bits. We also know that this angle is congruent to that angle, right? That's these bits right there. And now we know that this angle is congruent to that angle. So this side is not, it's hard to see when this all jumbled up. This side is actually not in between, but we do have angle sides, so we're done. 3-step proof, baby. Number 3. We have triangle A, C, D, congruent to triangle E, C, B, because of angle, side. That's it. Done. Finite. I think that was even faster than the last one. Such a fun lesson, such a fun unit. If you're in class, do your homework. See you in class. If you're not one of my students, see you on the internet somewhere. Bye-bye. Have a good one.